Hey, welcome. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back. And if you're a first-time visitor, welcome. I'm Debbie, and I talk about gadolinium deposition disease, gadolinium deposition and toxicity, gadolinium-based contrast agents, and they're problematic. It's problematic. The numbers are rising. The number of patients who are injured is rising, and nobody wants to talk about it. I talk about it. A lot of patients talk about it. I've met thousands of patients, talked to, interviewed hundreds, maybe close to 1,000. I've written a book, all to raise awareness, and still no one wants to talk about this. Gadolinium-based contrast agents are wrapped in a lichen intended to make them safe. The CDC now says that's problematic. May even induce morbidity and mortality. That's a problem. The manufacturers back in 2018 acknowledged that it is retained in the brain, the bones, the tissue, and the organ of everyone injected. And I know I say that on every video, so I apologize if you are hearing that every single time you visit. Hey, today I want to talk about some things. We just pulled the FAERS reports, and if you're not familiar with FAERS, it is with an F, not with a V. The one FAERS is for the vaccine people, and FAERS is the FDA database for reporting drug injuries. So gadolinium is a drug, toxic rare earth metal wrapped in a lichen intended to keep it safe that we know is now problematic. Anyway, we pulled the reports, and I want to talk about that because when you look at the reports, you may notice that compared to the number of injections, the numbers are low, and that's for a lot of different reasons. And so let's just talk about some of those reasons really quick. I have to do this quick. I've tried to film this 5 times, and every time I think I'm almost done, then it just deletes my video. I don't know what's going on with my phone. My memory's pretty full, so maybe that's it. But anyway, moving on. So, number 1, very few connect the dots that maybe the diagnostic tool intended to be helpful is actually introducing new problems, and that's why the numbers aren't being reported or aren't available to us. Second is that it's voluntary. It's voluntary if you want to report an adverse event. It's not mandatory, it's voluntary. The next thing is patients tell you, just like I had to pronounce the F versus the V, there's multiple databases, and the database for FAERS is hard to find. It's buried down 2 or 3 levels in the Google searches, and so it's hard to find. And then once patients do find it, they find it difficult to report because mostly they do not have the information they need handy. Like, what was your dosage? What brand were you injected with? And if you're tired and you're sick and you've been sick for weeks or months and you're trying to file a report and it took you an hour to find the database and now they're asking you questions, you don't have access to easy information, people just give up, right? So that's a problem. That's why the numbers are different. And then doctors will tell you, well, maybe we should just hold off on reporting because maybe your symptoms are temporary and they'll go away and we don't need to report then. And then it could be that doctors discourage reporting because nobody wants their organization to be associated with reporting bad things, right? Or less than stellar things, problems with a drug. So that could be part of the reason that doctors discourage it. And then partly doctors are focused on your new symptoms. They're like, okay, we know gadolinium's retained. That's an old story. And yeah, okay, so you had a gadolinium injection and you're retaining it. Let's move on. Let's deal with your symptoms of today. What are your symptoms? Let's deal with that. And so they don't ever get around to talking about gadolinium because they're focused on the current symptoms that you have. So then the elephant in the room just doesn't get talked about, which is gadolinium. We really need to get back to figuring out root causes, and gadolinium may be a root cause associated with some of your new symptoms. So that's a problem. So reporting is a problem. So if you see the reports and you're looking at them and you're thinking, well, the numbers are really low compared to the number of dosages that we give, or that are injected annually. Those are some of the reasons, and there are other reasons, but I don't want to spend a whole lot more time talking about this. I want to move on to some of the other things. So recently I was diagnosed with 2 diseases, pulmonary fibrosis. Fibrosis is a known thing with gadolinium, and more research is coming out, and originally it was only thought to be associated with the kidneys, but now we know that's not true. And if you've watched my other videos, you can learn about that by watching those. But fibrosis is a problem. I was diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis and also with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is a heart disease. And that's part of the reason I'm doing this video tonight. Heart disease is on the rise, and they are using late gadolinium enhancement to look at the heart when they do MRIs to help patients figure out what's going wrong. And that's great that we have a tool that will do that. And it does work well because it is actually identifies the scarring that is seen on myocarditis patients. And I may not say that word exactly right. I have a little bit of hard time with some pronunciations of words. Anyway, so it's a problem in the sense that heart disease is on the rise in our country and probably across the world. But I've watched a lot of the videos and the ongoing meetings with the FDA and with some of the doctors, and like Senator Ron Johnson's been holding meetings and bringing in experts to talk about the increase in the rise in some of these diseases that they're seeing. And the heart's one of those, right? So the God I serve, he's like, you need to watch out for each other and help each other out and love each other and care about each other. And people tell me all the time, this is none of your business, Debbie. You shouldn't be talking about it. And the God I serve would want me to talk about it if I knew about it, because we're here to help each other. And I'm passionate about this, and I have a purpose, and I have a reason to be here, and I'm still alive. And I should be able to talk about my own journey and to help people figure out what's going wrong. And so I will keep talking about it. And I hope that it helps someone, because with the new diagnoses that are coming up, people deserve to know what they're injecting in your body. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm not suggesting that you don't get an injection. If you think it will be helpful and you're a doctor and you decide that you should have an injection and you know the risks and you've been told all the information, you've seen the CDC statement, you've been given a medication guide, you've been talked to and told that there are risks, which there are risks with every single drug, right? We already talked about that. But I do care about people, and I just want you to have awareness and know that you have a right to know what you're injecting in your body before you inject it. This toxic rare earth metal may be worse than what we know today, and history will tell a very different story someday. Maybe not in my lifetime, but it will tell a very different story. So be educated, know what you choose to inject in your body. I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert, I'm not giving medical advice. I just care about people. I hate to see that our country has this rise in heart problems. It's all over Facebook. Every agency is writing about it. And when I talk to the cardiologists, I ask them, I don't have any genetic markers. I don't have heart problems in my family 3 generations back on either side. So is it possible that this toxic rare earth metal that I was injected with, that I have multiple diagnoses, every organ shows something? I do annual ultrasounds to look at the body, inside the body, to help research, and the researchers and the doctors better understand and start to connect the dots of what's going on in humans. And there's problems in my own body, and I do everything right. I mean, I don't do everything right. No one does, but I do detox. I do chelate. I do sweat and saunas. I do exercise. I do watch what I eat, reduce sugar, try to get the inflammation down. I've had cytokine storms. I mean, it's just, the list just goes on. So please just be informed, okay? Just ask questions. I pray that God will give you discernment so that you ask the right questions. And I beg the people who are in the medical industry to stop rolling your eyes, stop gaslighting, and those who are creating videos for industry and rolling your eyes and saying that we should stop talking about it, please go read the research. It's available on PubMed for your enjoyment and pleasure and nighttime reading so that you can learn about this drug. If you're a medical professional, do yourself that service so that you can help patients, which is an oath you took. We deserve to know what's going on and at least have a discussion and an open dialogue. Okay, I've shared my spew. I've spewed my share for the night. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning here. May your journey be one of wellness always. Know that there is no antidote or cure to effectively, efficiently remove this drug once it's injected into your body, whether it stays wrapped in the ligand or it separates and is causing chaos. There's not a good way to get it out of the body. So be your own advocate, okay? I care about you. I care about everyone. I want no one to be as sick as we are in our group. We're a growing group. Hundreds of new patients every single month. Sicker than they've ever been. 91% said they never got informed consent. Over 50% say they have 1 to 3 new diagnoses after being injected with gadolinium contrast agent. That doesn't have anything to do with what they originally sought help for and got their first injection of the gadolinium contrast agent for. We need to be aware. We need to be cautious. We need to be talking about it and having open dialogue. Okay, not a doctor, not medication, not medical advice. I'm just a patient. And I'm praying for all of us. Take care. I wish you well. May your journey be one of wellness always. Until next time.